I want you to imagine it's 2032. You're living in a very different Queensland, a place where human rights are cherished and celebrated. And Brisbane has just pulled off the most successful Olympic and Paralympic Games ever held. Yes, Americans even admit that Brisbane 32 outdid LA 28. Spectators and athletes from around the world marvelled at the accessibility of venues and the vibrancy and openness of Queensland society and culture. Human-centred universal design principles were embedded not only in the built environment, but also in the delivery of social services and our world-class health system. So what would it take to achieve this admittedly utopian future? The first thing the Queensland government could do is put its commitment to upholding human rights front and centre in its Olympic showcase, right alongside our iconic beaches, cultural diversity, and a modernised open democracy. The second thing the Queensland government could do to transform Queensland in time for the Games is radically reset its relationship with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. This could still be done by 2032, but it would require an almost immediate 180-degree turnaround on current policy trajectory. In 1992, the High Court belatedly recognised native title. In 2007, Kevin Rudd finally apologised to the stolen generations. We have said sorry for some things and provided some legal recognition, but to this day, as a nation, we have not shown anywhere near the respect that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders as distinct peoples are owed and deserve. We have not respected their rights, their knowledge, their country, or their laws. In Queensland, we're not walking together toward reconciliation. Our non-Indigenous leaders are walking us backwards. One can only wonder what the International Olympic Committee were thinking when they were told that the pathway to treaty was extinguished by the pathway to the Olympics. What a terrible message to send to the international community, let alone to Queensland's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Our political leadership could start by finding the humility to sit down with First Nations leaders and simply just spend some time listening with an open heart and an open mind. The fact that the 2032 Summer Olympics and Paralympics have to be held in the middle of our winter should tell you something about the reality of climate change. In the next 7 years, Queensland has the opportunity to be a world leader in the delivery of both emissions reduction and climate mitigation strategies. Compelling social, economic, and of course ecological reasons show why the Queensland government should take up this challenge. For the sake of humanity and to protect the right to life, we must take these decisions out of the fallible hands of our politicians and entrust them to respected climate scientists. No other institution represents and perpetuates the growing divide in equity in Australia more so than our education system. To maximise the benefits of schools, we need to stop treating them as merely as places where teachers go to work and well-adjusted children go to learn. Yet, a bigger and bolder approach would make all of our schools inclusive for all children by setting up schools as important community hubs with support not only for children, but for their parents and carers as well. Also, an enforceable education guarantee would have a profound impact on life outcomes of marginalised children in Queensland. I would confidently predict that if school principals were required by legislation to arrange alternative education for students before any long suspension or expulsion of a student was to take effect, we would see substantial improvements in inclusive education practice and greatly reduced numbers of youth offenders in Queensland. My final suggestion for supercharging a human rights culture in Queensland's democracy involves revamping the parliamentary committee system. In a parliament with only one house, the Human Rights Act and the committees should play important roles in holding both our lawmakers and the executive accountable. After 7 years of close proximity to the process, I can confidently say that the committee system is not up to the job of protecting human rights. You don't need to take my word for that. Just ask the children currently spending the night in the Wakehole remand facility, which despite its title is just really a big brand new watch house. The construction of this watch house is not only a monument to the failure of our social service delivery systems, but also the direct result of the inability of the legislative process to protect human rights. We could really crank up the scrutiny of Parliament with some simple changes to how the committee system works. It's been a great honour to have served as Queensland's first Human Rights Commissioner. Thank you.